With over 25 million users worldwide, Anaconda is an open source individual edition which is the easiest way to perform Python, data science, and machine learning on a single machine. It is developed for solo practitioners. It is the toolkit that equips the user to work with thousands of open source packages and libraries. With the conda install command, you can start using thousands of open source conda, R, Python, and many other packages. Conda makes it easy to manage multiple data environments that can be maintained and run separately without interference from each other. Hello learners, I welcome you to all to the tutorial of Python Anaconda.
If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out any new updates or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoy this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video, any queries or suggestions, and I will also respond to your comments.
Moving to the agenda, first we will discuss what Anaconda is, then we will see the installation of Anaconda, and then we will see Python programming in Anaconda. So we will start with variables, then we will see different types of variable scopes such as local variable, global variable. Along with that, we will also cover data types such as string, integer, float, and many more. Next, moving ahead, we will discuss different types of operators such as assignment operator, logical operator, arithmetic operator, and many more. After that, we will discuss about inbuilt data structures such as list, tuples, dictionary, and sets. Then we are having the concept of control statements in which we will be discussing about the conditional statement such as if, else if, along with loops. And at last, we will discuss the concept of function and how to pass an information as an argument in function. So this is the overview for this course. So now let's understand what is Anaconda. So now coming to Anaconda, it is an open source distribution for Python as well as R programming. It is used in data science, machine learning, deep learning, etc. Here, Anaconda Navigator is a desktop graphical user interface or GUI included in Anaconda distribution that allows user to launch applications and manage Conda packages, environments, and channels without using command line commands. So now this is a formal definition. In a simple word, I can say that it is an open source distribution of Python and R. So basically you can use data science, deep learning and machine learning in Anaconda. It is one of the most popular Python distribution platform. Also, user can install more than 1500 data science and machine learning packages. As I already told you that it is used in data science, machine learning and deep learning. Also, multiple data environments can be easily managed as well as maintained and run separately without any intrusion. So this is a basic idea about Anaconda. Now, after understanding what Anaconda is, now let's see its installation. So now after knowing what Anaconda is, now let's see its installation. So if you want to install Anaconda, you have to first install Python, right? Not only Anaconda. If you want to install any IDE for Python, you have to first install Python. So what we will do, we will install Python as well as Anaconda. So now let's see the installation. Yeah. So I will be using Google search engine here and then I will go here and I will write here Python download. And here you can see that you are getting the first website www.python.org. If I'm clicking on this download Python, now you can see that this is the official website of Python, right? Python.org. And here we are having several options like what about the Python, downloads, documentation, community, success stories, and many more. So I just want to download the Python. So I'll just click on this download. And here you can see that I'm getting the option for download for Windows. So I will just click on this and your Python will install in few seconds. Now, as I told you that I have to install Anaconda too. So what I will do, I'll just write here Anaconda and I will write here Python. So here you can see that this is the official website of Anaconda, that is www.anaconda.com. So this is the website of Anaconda and here we are having the several options like products, then pricing, solutions, resources, blog and company. So here you can see the description about Anaconda, right? So as I told you that Anaconda is the easiest way to perform Python and R, right? And if you go down, then you can see that this is the features of Anaconda, right? Open source, Conda packages, manage environment. Then here you can see that we are having the Anaconda installers for Windows, for Mac OS operating system, as well as Linux. So I'm having Windows operating system, so I will just click on this and download. If you are having Mac OS and Linux, then also you can download Anaconda. So I'm using 64-bit graphical installer, so I will just click on this. And here you can see that my Anaconda is downloading. So it will take some time to download. So till then, this is my Python. So let's see the installation of Python. So on clicking on this, I'm getting this option, right? Install now and customize installation. So I will just click on this install now, and I will also click this add Python 3.10 to path. So on install now, you can see that it's installing. So here you can see that my setup was successful. So I will just close it. Now it's time to install Anaconda. So I will just click on this Anaconda. And here you can see that I am getting welcome to Anaconda 3 64-bit setup. I will just click on next, and then I will just click on this I agree, and then I will just click install for just me. Then here you can see that I'm having destination folder. So what I will do here, I will just click on browse, and then I will click on make new folder, and then I will just write here Anaconda, and then I will click on OK. And after that I will just click on next. So if you want to set this Anaconda 3 to the path environment variable, you can just click on this and then click on install, right? So I've already installed Anaconda. So once you will click on this install button, Anaconda will be installed. So after installing, if you are going here and if you are writing here Anaconda, then you will see that I'm getting Anaconda prompt, right? So this is my Anaconda prompt. And here if I am writing here, let's suppose Anaconda hyphen navigator, then you can see that my Anaconda navigator will open. So it will take some time to open. So here you can see that I'm having Jupyter Notebook, I'm having PyCharm, which is another IDE, right? And then I'm having Spider too, right? So now if you want to do coding on Anaconda, so what I will do, I will be using here Jupyter Notebook. So I will go on search and then I will just write here Jupyter Notebook, and here you can see that I'm getting Jupyter Notebook option. So I'll just click on this. So after clicking on this, you can see that my Jupyter Notebook will open. So my Jupyter Notebook will look like this. So what I will do now, I would just want to create a new file. So I will click on this new, and I will click on Python 3. And here you can see that my file has opened. Now I will change the name here. So I'll just write here, let's suppose Anaconda, I will write here. Anaconda basic program. Well, it's a big name. You can give any name. So now let's see a simple program that is so much popular. Hello world. So I'll just write here print, and I will write hello world. So if I'm running this, you can see that I'm getting output hello world. So this is the basic idea about Anaconda. So we have seen the installation of Anaconda and then Jupyter Notebook in which we are doing coding implementation. So after seeing the installation of Jupyter Notebook, we will see what are variables. So variables are nothing but it is a container that is used to store data values. So how to create a variable? So variable is generated as soon as the value is assigned to it. Now, so the next point we are having variable type can be changed even though it's set. So let's suppose you have created a variable and it's of integer data type, but you can change it to string data type, right? Next point we are having variables are case sensitive. So that means uppercase letter and lowercase letters will be treated as different. So moving further, variable name cannot be started with a number. So you can't start a variable name with number, right? And also multiple values can be assigned to multiple variables in a single line in Python. So now coming to the last point, same value can be assigned to multiple variables. So that means you can assign the same values to multiple variables. So this is a basic introduction of variable. Now let's see it in the coding part to know better. So if you see the example here, you can see that x is equal to 10. So here the variable is x, which is having an integer data type. Now if you see here, this is a y variable and which contains a string data type. Great learning, right? So if you will print x and print y, then I will get 10, and here I will get great learning. So this is my Jupyter Notebook. I will go on new, and then I will click on this Python 3, and instead of Untitled 22, I will write here Anaconda underscore Python. Let me save it. So now let's start with variable, how to create a variable.
So first I will comment it down. I will write here has, and then I will write here variable. So now let me create a variable. I will write here x is equal to, let's say, 20. So here you can see that x is my variable that contains an integer data type, that is 20. So now if I'm writing here y is equal to great learning, so here y contains the string data type, that is great learning. So if I'm printing it, then I will simply write here print, and inside that I will write x, and similarly for y. Now let me execute this. So you can see that 20 and great learning I'm getting in my output. Moving next, as I told you that variable type can be changed even though it's set. Now let's see an example. So let's suppose if I'm writing here x is equal to 100, and then if I'm writing here x is equal to, let's suppose, gl, and now if I'm printing x, so you will see here it will print gl. So even though initially I have set x is equal to 100, that is integer data type, and then I change it to gl, so it will change it, right? So here you can see that the variable type can be changed even though it's set. Let me execute this. You can see that I am getting gl, right? Now after this, next I have told you that variables are case sensitive. So if I'm writing here, let's suppose, small x, and if I'm writing here great learning, and if I'm writing here capital X, and if I'm writing here, let's suppose, GL. So as I told you that case sensitive means uppercase letter as well as lowercase letter will be treated as different. So here if I'm writing here print, and inside that if I'm writing small x, and after that if I'm writing print and capital X, then you will see that I will get here great learning, and then if I'm printing capital X, then I will get GL. So in this way you can tell that variables are case sensitive. So moving further, let's get some more idea about variable. So as I told you that variable cannot be start with numbers. So if I'm writing here 1, and then I'm writing here, let's suppose 1x is equal to, I'm writing here 10, and if I'm printing it, then you will see that I will get an error. So you can see that, right? It's showing invalid syntax. Now you can create a variable with alphabet. So if I'm writing here x1, and let me change here to x1, and now if I'm executing, you can see that I will get my output, right? Even you can write the variable like this also. This is also correct, x underscore 1, and if you are allotting here 100 and printing it, then you'll get the output. So now after seeing this, what happens if I want to allot the multiple values in the same line? You can do it. So let me write here x comma y comma z, and here if I'm allotting, let's suppose, 100, 200 and 300 value respectively, and now if I'm printing here print x, let me copy and paste, and now if I'm executing, you will see that I will get 100, 200 and 300 in output, right? So you can assign the multiple values to the multiple variables in a single line in Python. So now moving further, variables are primarily of two types. The first one is the global variable and the another one is the local variable. So what are global variables? Global variable is nothing but it is declared outside the function and it can be accessed throughout the program. So here you can see the example. This is basically a global variable. How this is a global variable? You can see that this is declared outside the function. My function is this one, right? Def attack, and inside this function I am printing this global variable. Why? Because as I told you that global variable can be accessed throughout the program. So here you can see that this is my function. So how to create a function? I will just write def, which is a reserved word, and then function name. So let's suppose that I want to give the function name here as attack, right? And after writing attack, I can also give the parameter, right? Now after writing the function name, I can also give the parameter here, but I'm not giving here as of now. Now inside this function, what I have done, I have written print text. So this is my global variable, and inside the function I have written print text, so it will print here great learning. Now so it will print here great learning, but you can't print it directly. You have to call the function. So how to call a function? So if you want to invoke or call a function, then you have to call it with the function name. So here the function name is attack, right? So I can call a function with a function name. So I will just call here attack, and whatever inside this function is there, it will be printed. So now let's see it in the coding example. So let me write here global variable and I will comment it down with hash. Now after this, what I will do, I will create a variable that will be global variable. So if I'm writing here x is equal to great learning, so this is my x is equal to great learning. Now what will happen here, I will create a function. So how to create a function, I will write here def and then the function name. So let's suppose the function name is edtech, and inside this function I want to print out my global variable, so I will write here print x. Now after writing print x, we can't directly print whatever is inside the function. We have to call the function for printing anything inside the function. So what I will do, I will just call this function with the function name. So what I will do here, I will just write here edtech, and now if I'm executing it, you can see that I'm getting here great learning. So always remember that global variable can be accessed throughout the program. So this is all about global variable. So now, after understanding global variable, let's jump into the local variable. So what are local variables? Local variable is declared inside the function, or you can say method, and it cannot be accessed outside the function. Let's take an example. Here, if you see here, x is equal to great learning. This is my global variable, right? So then what is local variable? As in the formal definition, as I told you that it is created inside the function. So inside this function, you can see that I have created a local variable y is equal to gl, right? Now, if I'm writing here print x inside this function, then great learning will be printed. Okay. And if I'm writing print y, then this gl will be printed. So now what's the difference between local variable and global variable? So as I told you that local variable cannot be accessed outside the function. So here you can see that we are inside this function def edtech. So I can write print y. So it will print me GL as soon as I'm calling this function with the function name. I will call this edtech. So now it will see y is equal to GL, right? So it will print here great learning. This is a global variable as well as a GL1. Now, if outside the function, if you are writing print y, you will get an error because we can access local variable inside the function itself. So now let's see local variable in coding example. So I will write here local variable and let me comment it down. So I will use here hash. And now after this, what I will do, let me create a variable, and this time I'm giving the variable name as x1 is equal to, let's say, Gaurav. So this is my global variable, right? Because I didn't declare this variable inside any function. Now what I will do, I will create a function. So I will write here def and let me give the function name, let's suppose edtech once again. And inside this function I will create my local variable. So let me write y1 is equal to 100. So a local variable is a variable which is declared inside the function. So y1 is equal to 100. Now what I will do, inside this function I will write here print x1 and then I will write here print y1. So as we know that we can use global variable throughout the program. So I'm using global variable inside this function. So I'm writing here print, and inside print function I'm writing x1, and then I'm printing out my local variable also inside the function, since we can't access local variable from outside the function. Now after this, what I will do, I have to call this function. So I will write here edtech. So if I'm executing it, so on execution, you can see that I'm getting Gaurav and then I'm getting 100. Now, as I told you that you can't access local variable from outside the function. So what I'm doing here, outside the function, if I'm writing here print y1, right? So on executing it, you can see that we are getting an error. Why? Because we can't access local variable from outside the function. It can be accessible only inside the function. So here you can see that name y1 is not defined. So this is the basic idea about global variable as well as local variable. So moving further, I have given you the formal definition of global variable, that global variable is a variable which is generally declared outside the function. Now, what happens if I want to declare the global variable inside the function? So for creating global variable inside the function, I will use global keyword. So let me create here a function. Let's suppose def edtech is my function. And inside this function, if I want to create a global variable, I will write here, let's suppose global. Let me write here g1. Now I have created my global variable with a global keyword. Now if I'm writing here G1 is equal to, let's suppose 500, and if I'm writing here print, and I will write here inside the function, and I will write here G1. And if I want to call this function, then I have to call through the function name. So I will write here attack. So here you can see that inside this function, I'm having a global variable G1, and then I've assigned the value G1 is equal to 500. Now if I'm calling it, so on calling, you can see that it's printing inside the function, I'm getting 500. Now, as I told you that global variable can be accessed throughout the program, right? So it must be accessed outside the function also. So if I'm writing here print outside the function, and if I'm writing here G1, so it must give me the output outside the function 500. Now let me execute this. So on executing, you can see that I'm getting outside the function 500. So in this way, if you want to create a global variable inside the function, you can use the global keyword, and then we can create the global variable inside the function. So basically this is the idea about the variables and variable scope. So now let's see data types in Python. So the best thing about Python is that you don't have to specify the data type. Let's suppose that if you are writing x is equal to 5, so Python will automatically understand that it's an integer value. Similarly, if you're writing x is equal to, let's suppose, any string value, great learning, then Python will automatically understand that it's a string value. So we are having several built-in data types in Python, starting from Boolean type, we are having numeric types, sequence types, binary types, mapping type, text type, and set type. So in numeric type, we are having integer, we are having float, then we are having complex. In sequence types, we are having list, we are having tuples, we are having range. Similarly, for mapping type, we are having a string. And for Boolean type, we are having bool. So now let's see this data type in coding example. So let me write here data types, and I will comment it down. So now after commenting it down, what I will do here, let me write here x is equal to 5. So as I told you that in Python, you don't have to specify the data type. Python will automatically understood that x is equal to 5. It's an integer data type. How? If I'm writing here print, and inside this print function, if I'm writing here type, and inside this type, I will write here x. And if I am running it, you can see that it's showing class integer, right? Similarly, if I'm writing here, let's suppose y is equal to great learning, and then if I'm writing here print type, and if I'm writing here y instead of x, so on execution you can see that I will be getting a class as string. Similarly, let me write here z. If I'm writing here z is equal to, let's suppose, 100.678, and if I'm writing here print, and inside this print function, if I'm writing here type of z, then you can see that I'm getting an error because I have to write here small t, and here you can see that I'm getting a class as float, right? So now let's see some list data types. So if I'm writing here, let's suppose w, and if I'm writing here this is square bracket, so as we know that this is the empty list, right? So if I'm writing here print, and then inside this, if I'm writing once again type, and if I'm writing here w inside this, then you can see that it will show me the class as list, right? Similarly, if I'm writing here v is equal to, and this is round bracket, so round bracket means I'm having an empty tuple. If I'm writing once again here print, and I will write here type, and inside this type, if I'm writing here v, then you can see that I'm getting a class as tuple, right? So these are basically a data types in Python. So we can see that we are having a list data type, we are having a tuple data type, then we can have the range data type also, and many more data types that I've already showed you in the slide deck. So this is the basic idea about the data type. So next we are having operators. Operators are used to perform operations on variables as well as values. So we are having different types of operator, starting from arithmetic operator, in which we are having addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and then modulus. So this modulus will give us the remainder. So let's suppose that if I'm writing here 5 modulus 4, so what will be the remainder? The remainder will be 1. So basically this double asterisk is the exponentiation. So if I'm writing here 2 and then exponentiation 3. So that means 2 power 3 we are having, and 2 power 3 is 8. Similarly, if I'm writing, let's suppose 4 exponentiation 2, so that means 4 square is there, so it will be 16. So now coming to this double slash symbol, this is known as floor division. So it will give us the value to the nearest whole number. So let's suppose that if we are having 15 floor division of 7, then it will give me 2 value, right? So it will give me the nearest whole number. Now coming to the comparison operator, we are having less than symbol, we are having greater than symbol, we are having less than or equal to symbol, greater than equal to symbol, then we are having equal to symbol, and then we are having is not equal. Next, we are having logical operator. So in logical operator, we are having and, or not. So now coming to the bitwise operator, we are having here XOR, we are having and, or, then we are having zero fill, left shift, then we are having signed right shift, and then we are having not. Now coming to the assignment operator, basically here we are assigning the value. So if I'm writing x is equal to 5, that means I'm assigning 5 to x. So if you see here, I'm writing here plus is equal to. So what does it mean? If I'm writing, let's suppose x plus is equal to 3, so that means x is equal to x plus 3. Similarly, if I'm writing x minus is equal to 3, so it means x is equal to x minus 3. Similarly, let's take an example of this modulus equal to. So if I'm writing here x modulus is equal to 3, so then it will be equal to x is equal to x modulus of 3, right? Similarly, for floor division is equal to, and for exponentiation is equal to, the same thing it will be here, right? So let me write here, if I'm writing x exponentiation is equal to 3, then it will be x is equal to x exponentiation 3. Now at last we are having identity operator. So in identity operator we are having is as well as is not. So this is the basic idea about operators. So now let's see some operators in coding. Let's see some operators in coding examples. So we'll start with arithmetic operator first. So let me write here arithmetic operator. So in arithmetic operator, let me perform some operations. If I'm writing here x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 5, and if I'm writing here print, let me write here the addition of x and y. Okay, and if I'm writing here, let's suppose, let me write here z is equal to x minus y. So here if I'm writing comma and then z, then you can see that I will be getting the addition of x and y is 5. So I'm doing addition, right? So let me write here x plus y. So you can see that the addition of x and y is 15. Similarly, for subtraction, you can write here w is equal to x minus y, and then you can simply write here print w. Then you can see that the subtraction of x and y will be 5. Now what if I want to get the remainder? Okay, let me change the value here. Let's suppose if I'm having here x is equal to 11, right, and y is equal to 5, and as I told you that the modulus operator will give you the remainder. So if I'm writing here, let's suppose a is equal to x of modulus of y, and if I'm writing here print, so what's the remainder that we will be getting here? We will be getting the remainder as 1, right? Now let me execute it. You can see that we are getting the remainder as 1. So now after remainder, let me see here the floor division. So I will write here b is equal to x of, then double slash here. So if I'm writing here print of b, then you can see that on execution I will be getting the value as 2, right? Because the floor division will give you the nearest whole number. So if you are dividing 11 with 5, then you are getting 2, right, the nearest whole number. So the next operator that we are having is division. So if I'm writing here c is equal to x divisible by y, then you will see that, let me write here print of c, then you will see that we will get the output as 2.2. So these are the basic idea about the arithmetic operator. So after seeing arithmetic operator, now let's understand about the assignment operator. So assignment operator is also simple one. If I'm writing here x is equal to 3, and then if I'm writing here x plus is equal to 3, or let's suppose x plus is equal to 5, and if I'm writing here print x, then you will see that my x will be 8, right? Because we know that this means x is equal to x plus 5. Similarly, if I'm writing here, let's suppose x multiplication is equal to 5. So what will be my output? My output will be x is equal to x into 5, and my x is here 8. So 8 into 5 will be 40. So let me print it out. So if I'm writing here print x, so you can see that I'm getting 40 here, right? So this is the basic idea about the assignment operator. So next I am having comparison operator. So let's see some comparison. So if I'm writing, let's suppose x is equal to 10, and if I'm writing here y is equal to 2, and if I'm writing print function, and inside this if I'm writing x greater than y, so we know that x is greater than y, right? 10 is greater than 2, so it will return us true value. So you can see that I'm getting here true. Similarly, if I'm writing here y is greater than x, and if I'm executing, then you can see that I'm getting the value as false, right? So this is the comparison. And even if I'm writing here, let's suppose x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 10, and if I'm writing x is equal to y, so this is my equal to operator, right? So if I'm running it, you can see that I'm getting the true. So this is the basically a comparison operator. So now after comparison operator, we will see here some logical operator. So I will write here logical operator, and if I'm writing here, let's suppose a is equal to 20, and then I will write here print function, and inside this print function, if I'm giving the condition, let's suppose a is less than 20 and a is greater than 0. So on execution, you can see that I'm getting the false value. Why? Because a is equal to 20. So if I'm giving here, let's suppose 21, then you can see that my a value is 20 and a is less than 21, right? And a is also greater than 0. So it will return me true now. So on execution, you can see that I'm getting the true value. Now, another logical operator that I'm having is OR, right? So instead of this, if I'm writing here OR, so OR means at least one condition must be true. In the case of AND, both the conditions must be true. But in OR, if at least one condition is satisfying, then it will return the true value. So here, if I'm writing here, let's suppose A is less than 10. So we know that this condition is wrong, right? Because A is greater than 10. But another condition is A is greater than 0. We know that, right? So as I told you that OR operator will return true if one condition is true. So let me execute this. On execution, you can see that I am getting the true value. So this is all about the basic operators. So now let's see what is list in Python. So list is basically a data structure, and it is denoted by a square bracket, as I already told you. And it's basically a collection of values with same or different data types. So in a list, you can have float value, you can have integer value, as well as you can have a string value too. Also, if you want to fetch any value, it can be fetched through indexing. In list, we can also do the slicing. So moving to the next point, it is mutable. That means value in a list can be changed. So in list, we are having several methods such as list.append. So if you want to insert or add any value, so you can use append function. So it will add the value at the end. Now coming to list.pop. So basically if you want to remove any element from the list, then you can use pop function. So now coming to the list.count. So count function will tell you how many times a value has appeared. So these are the some methods that we can use in list. So basically in list, we are having a lot of methods, but I've shown you some examples. So now let's see list in Jupyter Notebook. So let me write here list, and I will comment it. So let me create a variable L1, and as I told you that list is denoted by square bracket. So this is my empty list. Let me insert some elements. So if I'm writing here, let's suppose Gaurav, and I'm will write here Edwin. Let me write one more name here as Tony, And if I want to print this list, then I will write print function, and inside print function I will write here L1. You can see that this is my list. So as I told you that list is a collection of same data type as well as different data type element. So here we can see that we are having only string values. So what I can do, let me create a list L2, and in this list I'll give a name. Let's suppose Gaurav, and then let me give integer value. I will write here 100. Let me write different data type. So I will write here 100.345. Now if I'm printing here L2, so on execution, so here you can see that I'm having a list which contains string value, integer value, as well as float value. So if you want to do the indexing in list, you can do it. So we know that the indexing will start from 0. So this is at 0 position, this is at 1 position, this is at second position. So if I want to print only Gaurav, so what I will do here, I'll just write here print, and I will write here L2, and I will give the index position, let's suppose 0 here. So you will see in output I will be getting as Gaurav. Yeah. Now similarly, if you want to print out this value 100.345, then you just write here L2 and just write here 2, right? Because indexing will start from 0, 1 and 2. So this is at second position. So if you write here L2 and if you're writing here 2, and on execution you can see that I'm getting 100.345. So moving further, as I told you that list is mutable. So mutable means the value can be changed. So let's suppose that at index position 0 I am having the value as Gaurav. Now if I want to change it, then I can change it. So let me write here L2. So if I'm writing L2 and let's suppose at index 0, I want to change it from Gaurav to Great Learning. So here what I am doing, I am changing the string value from Gaurav to Great Learning. And that's why string is mutable, because we can change the value. So at particular 0 index position, I'm changing the value. And if I am executing this list now, print L2. So on execution, you can see that I'm getting Great Learning instead of Gaurav, right? So now, after seeing indexing and then lists are mutable, you can also do the slicing in lists. So what is slicing here? So let's suppose if I'm writing here print, and inside this, if I'm writing here L2, and if I'm writing here 0 to, let's suppose if I'm writing here 2, so you can see that on execution, I'm getting the value Great Learning and 100. So what happens in slicing here, it will include 0, right? So 0 I am having here Great Learning, and at one position I am having 100, but this 2 will be excluded, right? So if I'm slicing from 0 to 2, so that means the value at index 0 as well as 1 will be included. So here you can see that this is my output. So this is the basic idea about list. So this is my list L2, right? So if I want to add some value, then which function shall I use? So I'll write here L2.append. So append function will add the element at the last. So if I'm writing here L2 append, and if I am writing here, let's suppose 4, and if I'm writing here print L2, so here you can see that 4 has been added at last. Now, so after this, let's see some more functions in list. So if I'm writing here L2.pop, so we know that pop function will remove the last element from the list. So if I'm writing here L2.pop, you can see that 4 has been removed. So if I'm writing here print L2, you can see that 4 will be removed from here, right? So I have showed you some functions in list. So this is the basic idea about list. So after list, let's see what are tuples. So tuple is also a data structure, and it is denoted by round brackets. And in tuples also, multiple values can be assigned with same or different data types. Moving further, here the value can be fetched using indexing, same as list. So what's the difference between list and tuple? In list, we can change the value. That means lists are mutable. Now coming to the tuple, you cannot change the value. So tuple is immutable. So now moving to the last point, let's see some methods that we can use in tuples. We can use list.count, we can use list.index. So now let's see tuple in coding. Yeah, so let me write here tuple and I will comment it. So if I'm writing here A1, and we know that tuple is denoted by round bracket. So this is my empty tuple. Let me insert some value inside this tuple. So if I'm writing here Gaurav, and Let me write here 100 and 100.789. Then after that, let me write here 3 comma 5 comma 3. And if I'm printing it, so you can see that this is my tuple. So as I told you that in tuple, the value cannot be changed. So here you can see that A1 is my tuple, right? At index 0, I am having the string value as Gaurav. And if I'm writing here A1, and if I want to change the value at index 0, and if I'm changing it to great learning, and if I'm writing here print A1, you will see that I will be getting an error. So here you can see that I'm getting an error because the value cannot be changed in tuple. So that's why they are immutable. Now, after this, let's see some methods or some functions in tuple. If I'm writing here, let's suppose a1 dot count, and inside that if I'm writing here 3, and if I'm running it, then you can see that I'm getting the output 2, because as I told you that count function will give you the number of value that has been occurred. So if I'm writing here 3, so you can see that inside my tuple I am having a 3 two times. So it has shown that 3 has been occurred 2 in my tuple. So this is the basic idea about tuple. So after saying what is list and tuple, now let's see what is set. So basically set is also a data structure and it is denoted by curly bracket, right? And in sets there cannot be duplicate elements. So it is a collection of unique element and it never follow any sequence. So let's suppose if you are having a set and you have assigned multiple values, so the multiple values will not be in any order. So it will never follow any sequence, right? And as I already told you that set doesn't permit duplicate values. Since there is no proper sequence, you can't fetch the value using indexing. Also, set supports union, intersection, difference, and symmetric difference. And now coming to the last point, please remember that set is mutable. Now, let's see set in coding. So what I will do now, let me write set here, and once again I will comment it down. So let me create a set. So I will write here S1, and as I told you that set is denoted by curly bracket. So let me write here curly brackets, and let me write here some values 38, 47, 56, 77, 89. I'm just writing the random values here, 90, and if I'm writing here 91 and then 92. So let me print this. So on execution, you can see that I'm getting the value. So as I told you that set doesn't have any proper sequence. It doesn't follow any sequence. So here you can see that I've written from 38, 47, 56, 77, 89, 90, 91 and 92. And here in the output you are getting 38, 77, 47, 56 like this. Now, as I told you that you can't do indexing in a set. So let me write here S1, and inside that let's suppose that if I want to print out 38 values, so this is at index 0. So if I'm writing here S1 and the index position is 0, and if I am executing this, let me write print here. So on execution you can see that we will be getting an error. Let me print it out. So I'm running it and you can see that we are getting an error because in set indexing is not possible because we don't have any proper sequence. Now, so after this, let's see some functions in set. So let's suppose if I want to add any element in set, so I will write here what's the name of my set, S1. So I will write here S1 dot add, and if I want to add, let's suppose 2, then I will just write here 2 and let me run it. And after running it, let me print my set. So you can see that 2 will be added in my set. Now, if you want to add multiple values, then which function you can use? You can use update. So I will write here s1 dot update, and inside this I can write 2 comma 3 comma 5. And now if I'm writing here print s1, you can see that I'm getting 2, 3, 5, 38, 77, 47, 56, 89, 90, 91, 92. Now here you might have a doubt that here I have inserted 2 comma 3 comma 5. Then in the output, why I'm getting only one value of 2 comma 3 comma 5? It's because set doesn't allow duplicate values. So we will be having only unique value in a set. So now after this, let's see union and intersection of set. So if I'm writing A is equal to, let's suppose 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5, and if I'm writing here b is equal to 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7, and now if I'm writing here print, and if I'm writing here a dot union of b, then on execution you can see that I am getting these elements. So what does here union means? So union means basically all the elements of a and b, right? So here you can see that the elements of a and b are here. Now if I want to find the intersection, so what does intersection means? It means the matching elements of a and b set. So if I'm writing here a is equal to 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8, and if I'm writing here b is equal to, let's suppose 4 comma 5 comma 6, and then 11 or 111, you can take any value, 112. And if I want to find the intersection, I will write here print a dot intersection. So if I'm executing it, you will see we will be getting the matching values, right? 4 comma 5 comma 6. So this is a basic idea about set. So after understanding list, tuple, and set data structure, let's understand what is dictionary data structure. So dictionary is also represented by curly bracket, but it is having a key as well as value pair. So inside a dictionary, we are having a keys, and each key is having a specific value. Also, if you want to do indexing in dictionary, you can do it through keys. Moving further, keys can be numbers as well as strings. So that means your key can be numbers as well as a string. Keys are unique and hence immutable, whereas dictionaries are mutable. So it means that you can't change the value of key. However, if you want to change any specific key value, then you can do it. So here keys are immutable. Immutable means you can't change the value, whereas dictionaries are mutable. So that means the values of dictionary can be changed. So this is the basic idea about dictionary. So now let's see its practical implementation. So let me write here dictionary first. So I will write here dictionary and let me comment it down. So what I will do now, I will just create a dictionary variable. So let me write a variable. I'll give any name. Even you can give any name. So let me write here dictionary 1. And as I told you that dictionary will be denoted by curly brackets. And inside this curly brackets, we will be having keys as well as its values. So let me write here key as 1 and let me assign here the value. So this is my key, and inside that I will assign the value, let's suppose Tony. So this is the value of key 1, right? Whose value is Tony. Now, so let me write here one more key. So I will write here 2, and here I will write its value as great. Then I will write here 3, and then I will write here learning. Let me print it out. So if I'm executing it, you can see that I'm getting this as in my output. This is my dictionary, right? If I want to know the type, so what I will do, I'll just write here, and inside this print function I will write here type, and I will just write here dictionary. That is the variable name dictionary 1. And if I'm executing it, you can see that the type that I'm getting as class dictionary, right? So this is the basic idea about dictionary. So as I told you that if you want to do the indexing in dictionary, you can do it through keys. So here you can see that we are having keys as 1, 2, and 3. So let's suppose this key, third key, is having a value of learning, right? And I just want to print it. So how will I print? I will just simply write here print, and then I will write here the variable name, that is dictionary 1. And now this time I don't have to write the indexing position like in the previous case we were doing in list and tuples. Here I will just write the key. So here the key is 3, right? Because I want to execute this specified key value, right? So that's why I've written here the key as 3. So if I'm executing, you can see that I'm getting learning. Moving next, as I told you that dictionaries are mutable. So let me change the value here. So if I'm writing here dictionary 1, and let me write here the key as 1, and I want to change the value of this key. So I will write here admin, and now if I'm executing it, print, what's my variable name? Dictionary 1, right? So you will see that Tony will be replaced by admin. So on execution, you can see that now at key 1, I'm having the value as admin. So hence dictionary is mutable.
So now in control statements, we are having conditional statement. So let's understand about first if statement. So if statement is simple. If the condition is true, then the statement will be executed. So let's take an example. Here you can see that a is equal to 5 and I have given the if statement. If a is greater than 3. So here a is equal to 5. 5 is greater than 3, right? So as I told you, if the condition is true, then the statement will be executed. So here you can see that the condition is true. So it will print great learning. Now let's see it in the coding example. So let me write here control statement. I will just write it and comment it down. And after this, I will create a variable. So let me write here the variable name as a1 and I will give the value, let's suppose 100. And if I give here the simple condition, let's suppose if a1 is greater than, let's suppose 50, then I will just write here print and inside that I will write here great learning. Now on execution, you can see that 100 will be greater than 50, so it will print great learning, right? Now, if I'm having one more condition of if, let's suppose if I'm having if a1 is greater than 30, and once again I'm writing here print great learning. So now, if I ask you a question that how many times great learning will be printed, the answer will be 2 because I have given you the basic condition. And the basic condition is that if statement will be executed if the condition is true. And the condition is that if the condition is true, then the statement will be executed. So let me run it and you can see that I am getting 2 times great learning. So now, after understanding if statement, let's jump into the else if statement. So what will happen in else if statement? So let's suppose your condition was true. Then we know that if part will be executed. But when the condition is false, else if will be executed. So here you can see that in this example, I am having a is equal to 10, b is equal to 10. And the first condition is that if a is greater than b. So we can clearly see here 10 can't be greater than 10. So this condition is not satisfying. So once again, I have written here else if statement and I have written here a is equal to b, right? So 10 is equal to 10, right? It's correct. So this statement will be executed, right? So let me execute this. So if I'm writing a variable, let's suppose here a is equal to 100 and b is equal to 100. And now I will give the condition here. So I will write here if, and I will write here if a is greater than b, then print great lakes. I will give one more condition here, else if, and I will write here a is equal to b, and then I will simple write here print great learning. So here you can see that this statement is wrong. So if statement will not be executed. And here if you see 100 is equal to 100, then it will print, right? So let me execute. So here you can see that I am getting output as great learning. So this is the idea about if and else if statements. So now after understanding if and else if statement, let's understand what is else keyword here. So this keyword covers everything that hasn't been covered in previous conditions. So if you see here, x is equal to 50, y is equal to 25. So here you can see that I have given the first condition, that is y greater than x, and is 25 greater than 50? No. Then I have given the second condition, else if. Then I have given the second condition, else if x is equal to y. X is not equal to y also. So this condition will not satisfy. Then I have written here else statement. So here you can see that else keyword covers everything that hasn't been covered in previous conditions. So let me write it into the coding example. So if I'm writing here, let's suppose a is equal to 100 and b is equal to 50. Let me give the first condition. So I'll write here if b is greater than a, then inside this I will write print Tony. So this statement will not be executed. Why? Because b is 50 and a is 100 and 50 can't be greater than 100. I'll give one more condition, else if a is equal to b, I'll write here print Edwin. So clearly we know that this will not be printed because a is not equal to b. So I'll give one more condition here, else, and it will cover all the part which is not included in the previous conditions. So I'll write here print great learning. Now if I'm executing it, so on execution you can see that I am getting my output as great learning. So this is the basic idea about the conditional statements such as if, and else. So now, after understanding conditional statement, let's understand what are loops. So loop is nothing but it's basically a repetition of a sequence of instruction to reach a certain condition. So we are having mainly two types of loop. The first one is for loop and the another one is while loop. Now coming to the for loop, it will repeat the same statement till the condition is achieved. So for example, so here you can see that I have used for loop. So I have written here for I in range, then I have written for under a parenthesis, right? And inside this for loop, I have written my print I. Now what will happen here? If you see I is my variable, right? And here the range will take four values and the value will start from 0, 1, 2 and 3, right? So always remember the value will start from 0. So we are having 0, 1, 2, 3. Total four values we are having, right? So this is a basic idea about for loop. Let's see it in the practical example. So let's see for loop implementation here. So I will just write here for loop and I will comment it down. So first we will see here range. So first we will be using here range function. So I will just simply write here for I in range, and if I'm writing here 5 and inside this if I'm writing here print I, then you can see that I am getting values from 0 to 4, right? So as I told you that if I'm writing here 5 inside this range function, then the value will start from 0, right? So that means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So inside that if I'm writing a statement print I, then it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So now let's see the for loop implementation in list. So let me create a list here. So if I'm writing here list one, so as we know that list is a collection of different or same data type. So if I'm writing here Gaurav, I'm writing here 1, and if I'm writing here 100.5, so this is my list creation. Now what I will do here, I will once again implement for loop. So I will write here for, and I will write one variable. So let's take the variable name is x. So for x in, and then I will write here list 1. So what will happen here? In this list 1, we are having three elements, right? That is Gaurav, 100.5. So x will take the value first as Gaurav, then it will take the value of 1, then it will take the value as 100.5. So what will happen here? So inside this for loop, I will write simply print x. Now if I'm executing it, you can see that, then you can see that the values in the list, that is Gaurav 1 and 100.5, are printed. So in this way, you can implement for loop in list. Now let's see the for loop in string. So let me write here for, and if I'm writing here x in, let's suppose if I'm writing here great learning, let me give the gap here also. So if I'm writing here great learning, and now if I'm writing print x, so you will see what will happen here. X will take the value as g, then x will take the value as r, then a, then t, then it will take the value as space, then it will take the value as l, e, and so on. So let me execute this. So on execution, you can see that I am getting the output like this. So this is the basic idea about for loop. So now after understanding for loop, let's understand what is while loop. So while loop is a loop which is having one control condition and it will execute till the condition is true. So let's take an example. Here you can see that I have created a variable a in which I have assigned the value as 0, and then I have implemented a while loop. So I have written here while a is less than 5. So here you can see that inside this while loop I have written print statement, and after that I have written a is equal to a plus 1. So what will happen here? If you see a value is 0 here, so 0 less than 5, right? This condition is satisfying. So it will print the value of a, that is 0, and after that there is an increment, a is equal to a plus 1. This is an assignment operator, right? So now a value will be 1. So now what will happen? This is a while loop, right? So it will execute till the condition is true. So now the new value of a is 1. So 1 is less than 5, right? It's true, so it will print 1. Then once again a plus 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. Once again it will go 2 less than 5, yeah, again it's true. So in this way it will print the output. So let's see it into the coding example. So what I will do here, I will write here while loop and I will comment it down. So I will create a variable a is equal to 0. That means I'm assigning 0 value to this variable, and then I will create a while loop. So I will write here while, and then I will give condition while a less than, let's suppose, 10, and inside that I will write here print a, and then I will write here a is equal to a plus 1. And now if I'm executing, you will see that I will be getting the value. So here you can see that I am getting my output from 0 to 9. So this is the basic idea about while loop. So now after understanding for and while loop, let's understand about the break statement. So what I will do now, I will just write here list 1, and inside this list, let me write here great learning. I will write here great learning, then I will write here 100, then I will write here 100.5, and let me first write here break statement and I will comment it down. So what I will do here, this is my list. Now I will create my for loop. So I will write here for loop. So now let me create a variable. So I will write here for x in list 1. And then what I will do here you can see that x will take the value great learning 100, 100.5. So I will write here if statement. I will write here if x is equal to, let's suppose 100, then I will just write here break. But before that, let me print out some values. So I will write here print x. So now if I'm executing here, you can see that first what happens here, x will take the value of great learning, right? Because x will take first great learning value, then it will take 100, 100.5. So now x value is great learning, it printed great learning. Here you can see that great learning doesn't is equal to 100. So it will not break. Since this is a loop, so now x new value is 100, right? So it will print 100. Now it will see 100 is equal to 100, right? Now it will break. So now the question arises, what is break statement? So break statement means you are going to jump out from the loop. So here if I am written here break, so here you can see that I have given the condition. So 100 is equal to 100. So now I have written here break inside this if condition, right? So here I have written break. So it will jump out from the loop. So it will not execute further. So this 100.5 value will not be printed. So this is the basic idea about the break statement. So now after understanding break statement, let's understand what is continuous statement. So let me write continuous statement and comment it down. So I'll write here continue and statement. So let's suppose if you are going through any iteration and if you have written continue, so once again it will stop that particular iteration and it will once again start a new iteration. So let me show you with an example. So what I will do here, I will once again create a list. Let's suppose list 1 is equal to, and let me give here the values. I will write here GL, I will write here 100, I will write here 100.32, and then what I will do here, once again I will create my for loop for x in list 1. So here x is my variable, and inside this what I will do, I will once again give the condition if, let's suppose, if x is equal to 100, then I will write here simple continue. Now I will write here print and I will write here x. But here you can see that the print function is not inside my conditional statement, that is if, it's inside my loop, right? So if I'm executing it, you can see that I'm getting ZL and 100.32. So what happens here? So as I told you that x will take the value of GL, then 100, then 100.32. So now when x value is GL, so you can see that if GL is equal to 100, no, it is not satisfying. So it will skip this conditional statement, then it will print GL. So after that, the next iteration will start and it will take the value of 100. Now, x value is 100, x is equal to 100, this condition will satisfy. And here I have written the continuous statement. So what will happen here? Continuous statement will break this iteration and the new iteration will start. So once again, the new iteration will start here and now the x value will be 100.32. So now if you see 100.32 is equal to 100, no, so it will print 100.32. So this is the basic idea about the break and continuous statement. So now after understanding conditional statement as well as loop, we will discuss about functions. So the first question is, what is function? So function is a block of code that runs on invoking or calling. We have already get some idea about function in variable, right? But once again I will explain you. So what happens here, if you want to create a function, first you have to write the reserve word, that is def, and then you have to write the function name, that is edtech. So here the function name is edtech, you can give any function name. After this, you can see that inside this function I have written my print statement, welcome to great learning. Now if you are thinking that this print statement will execute, no, it will not be executed. You have to call or invoke a function. So how to call or invoke a function? You can call or invoke a function by calling through a function name, right? So here the function name is edtech. So I will call it through the edtech. So I will write here edtech, that is the function name. So as soon as I'm calling through the function name attack, it will go here and then it will see the statement inside this attack function. So here the statement is welcome to Great Learning and it will print. So this is the basic idea about function. So now after understanding what function is, let's see its implementation. So let me write here function and I've already commented it down. So now after this what I will do here, first I will create a function. So I will write here def, this is my reserved word. Then I will give the function name. So let's suppose function name is player. Now inside this function I will write a simple statement. Let's suppose print Gaurav. Now if you are not calling this function and executing it, nothing will be printed. Let me run it. You can see that. So how to print this print statement? So I will call this function through function name. So I will just write here player. Now if I'm executing it, you can see that Gaurav has been printed. So now after understanding what function is, we can also pass information into a function as argument. We can pass list, tuple, dictionary, strings into a function as an argument. Now here you can see the example. This is my function, right? And inside this function, I am passing information in the form of string, right? Great learning, GL, Great Lakes. So I'm calling basically the function and I'm passing the parameter. So it will print me there the name of the company is Great Learning, the name of the company is GL, the name of the company is Great Lakes. So what I will do here, I will write here function argument and I will comment it down. Now I will write here def, I will write here player and inside that I will write here print. Inside that I will write here print and I will write here the player name is and I will write here player. So this is the argument basically. So what I will do here, I will call this function. So how to call a function? By function name. So function name is player. So let me write here player and let me give the argument as player 1, right? It will be good. Why? Because I'm already having the function name as player. So there shouldn't be any confusion. So that's why I'm taking the argument as player 1. So now if you want to call a function, then you have to call with the function name. So player is a function name and inside this, let me write here Dhoni. Then once again, if I'm writing here Yuvraj and if I'm writing here player Kohli and on execution, you can see that I'm getting the player name is Dhoni, Yuvraj, and Kohli. So can you see that using function, we don't have to write too much code, right? Because if I was not using function, then I have to write each time the player name is Dhoni, Yuvraj, and Kohli. But here you can see that we are passing the information and we are executing the same code again and again by passing the arguments. So this is the basic idea about function. So let's take a quick recap of this course. We have started this course by understanding what is Anaconda. Then we have seen the installation of Anaconda. Along with that, we have seen variables, data types, and different types of operators. Moving ahead, we have also discussed the concept of inbuilt data structures such as list, tuples, set, dictionary, and we have seen control statement such as if, else, along with loops. And at last, we have also discussed about the function. So this is the basic idea about this course. Thank you.
If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out any new updates or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoy this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video any queries or suggestions and I will also respond to your comments.